Okay, well, I want to welcome you to Eastgate's FY2026 full application for our ARC program. I am Kathy Zook. I'm the Appalachian Regional Commission Program Manager for Eastgate. And I'd like to begin by going around the room. Let's please just say your name and the agency you're with and you're representing. So Doug, we'll start with you.
Doug Starkey, Ashtabula County.
Alyssa Dunlap, Ashtabula. Take over Ashtabula County.
Tyler Lewis, Mahoney County Career Technical Center.
Nate Kronstein, Goodwill.
Matthew Ellis, City of Struthers.
Gina Magazine, City of Girard. Terry Trisket, Conneaut, 140.
Bill Klein, Conneaut, Port Authority.
Yeah, thanks, JP.
Okay, well, thank you and congratulations. This was the most competitive application process we've had in the history of Eastgate's ARC program. We had more than double the applications we usually do, and you folks had the best applications and the best projects. So thank you and congratulations. I'll have to say the competition is over. Now you're at the point of the full application where I'm responsible to help you get all the pieces of the parts in your application so that it is successful and to be awarded. And hopefully make sure you're not having missteps along the way that would cause the project to be disqualified. So the work is on you, but I'm here to guide you through the process. There are 3 levels of approval, and you have to meet each one before you can advance to the next. So right now, your application portals are open, and you must have the approval of the local development district before you can go forward. The local development district is Eastgate, and it will come to my attention. Once you get the Eastgate approval process completed, then your application goes to the state. That would be to the Governor's Office of Appalachian. And that's Julia Hinton and Director John Carey and their team. They do not select the projects. The projects are selected by the LDD, the Local Development District, but they have a very important administrative role. So they're going to be reviewing your project, and they may ask a question or two because nobody has a perfect application. I'm sure I'll have some questions and revisions for you. They may as well. And then if your application is receiving federal money, which I'll let you know which ones those are, then it goes to the state, or pardon me, to Washington, D.C. from the state. They'll forward it to D.C. And then you have to meet the federal approval. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
You missed introductions. I'm Kathy Zook. I'm the ARC Program Manager, as you are.
Hi, Matthew Longmire of the Valley Partners.
All right, Matt.
Walk across the street.
There's some handouts for you.
Thank you so much.
Pick those up. We're just going over the approval process here. You, I'm sure, are aware from the email that was sent, the applications are due this year on December 12th, 3 p.m. And don't panic because you're not going to see a submit button on your application. As the local development district, I've created the application portal for you, so I have access to your application already. I can see it at any time. So you will not have a submit button, but your due date is still December 12th at 3 o'clock. That's when I will start my administrative review on the application. You're welcome to get it done early. And I will say with Salesforce, oh, I see Gary's coming in. That's our last one to join us. Salesforce, for those of you who have worked in it before, you know the gremlins are in there and active. Phyllis has already had some experience in that. A few of you, we could not add you, but I think that may have all been resolved. But at this point, if not, IT is still working on it. Good morning, Gary. We got some handouts for you. If you would. I knew you would be the last one in, so it's okay. You just made introductions. You want to tell everyone who you are?
I'm Gary Newbrown from the County Sanitary Engineer.
Okay. You can advance it here if you want, Gary. Because that way the camera will be able to. And I'll just move up a little more. Okay, so applications are due, like I said, at 3 p.m. on the 12th. You won't have a submit button, and some of those issues I was talking about with Salesforce have regarding your PDFs. And there are a lot of attachments. Salesforce has been known to lose your attachments. So this is my advice to you. When your application is complete and you have your attachments, print a copy of all your attachments, put it in one PDF and email it to me. So if the gremlins come live and delete some of yours, I will still have a copy and be your backup. But other than that, that's really the only thing we've had problems with is PDFs being there and deleted. So today you've got some handouts. This is also what was emailed to you yesterday. And I'm going to start by going over those a little bit before we get into the Salesforce application. So let me, oh, I guess I have to share, right, Phyllis?
Yes.
So, okay. All right, and I know I have to hit this one. Okay. That's not what I want to share. What did I do?
You just dropped it.
Oh, okay.
You're fine. You have to have the document that you want to share on screen.
Okay, well, I've got it down here. All righty. Is it good?
And it's sharing.
All right, wonderful. Well, see, it's always good to have teamwork and backup. Thank you. All right. The information on the supporting documentation is nothing new to you. It was provided in the pre-application booklet, but when you're in the full app, you no longer have that reference. So I put it together for you. Your support letters, which are required in the full application, you must have a minimum of 5. And I have to say, as applicants, you all did an excellent job of providing support letters in your pre-app. So you may use all of those and you can add to them. But your support letters need to be on the agency's letterhead, signed by the appropriate person, and it can be no older than 12 months old. We want fairly recent. And of course, you know, you have this handout, so you're welcome to take that with you. With the support letters, like I said, there needs to be 5. And at this point, you know, that would be, it could be elected officials, state, federal, and local. It could also be from nonprofits, residents, businesses, any agency that's in support of your project. That is very important. Okay, so then the job commitment letters. Not all projects have job commitments, so don't worry about that if you don't have it. But if you do, this is the criteria we're looking at in that documentation. Again, it's got to be on company letterhead, signed by the appropriate person, less than 12 months old, and then to review these bullet points to make sure the content has these items. Okay, then, now ARC has very specific definitions of what job creation and job retention is. Those definitions are on this form for you, so you know you're meeting that definition. And then your matching fund commitments, as you know, at this point, you have to have your commitment letters in place. All your funds have to be committed at this time. So you would need documentation from that entity that confirms, you know, this is the project title, this is how much we're contributing. So this is the criteria that's needed in your commitment letters.
Kathy, on that, I just put in the grant agreements that we already have. I mean, is that
We don't want your grant agreements. Any other agency.
like CDBG? I gotta have to get a separate letter from them?
Yes, you do. Can you, does it show that the, I don't know, does it show, like what you do for OPWC, you highlight the project and the amount of the award?
Yeah.
That's fine.
All right.
If CDBG also, it says the project, the award, that's fine. That's your documentation, but I don't need the whole application.
Right,
Just
right.
that
That's for- okay,
Yeah, and,
okay, but that's,
Yeah.
okay, instead of a letter. Okay.
and I do want to say thank you, Gary, and this is interactive. I don't want to talk all the time. Please, if you have a question, raise your hand, shout it out. This is, for you. Okay. So now we're talking about board resolutions. Everyone has to have a board resolution, maybe you call them an ordinance or something different, but from your governing board that says, yes, you can apply, this is the title, and so here's the criteria needed in your board resolution. I am more than willing to review your resolution before you have your board pass it. Because the last thing you want is to send it and then say, oh, you forgot something, and then have to come back. So I'm happy to do that for you. We do need an UEI number for all applicants, and I want to thank you. Everyone has given me their UEI number and their federal ID number. Now, with the UEI, that is important that you keep that up to date because it does expire every 12 months. ARC cannot reimburse you unless you have an active UEI number. So just keep on top of when that expires because I'm sure you want your money when you request it. All right, and then here's my reminders. I'm sure you can probably start to recite them with me because they are practically on every email I will send you from this point forward. First one is applicants are not permitted to break ground, make a purchase of equipment, or go out to bid unless and until you have an award letter of approval for your project. If you do otherwise, you have just lost your funding. ARC is a reimbursement grant, so we can't reimburse you for an expense before the project has been approved. So please don't do that. And then also the project proposal summaries. You presented that electronically. You have a hard copy today. From this point forward, an applicant cannot make changes to their project proposal summary, including the budget section, without the approval of Eastgate. Now, on your proposal summaries, you'll see some have highlights in yellow. That's things that I have inserted. So you don't have to give it back to me in yellow. Just make sure you use that information there. There has been some changes on the federal side, and I will say that those of you who are federal applicants, I'll review that in a little while. Then the third reminder, the permit to install. If your project is a construction project, more than likely just a sewer project that requires permits to install, this is the time that you must provide documentation that you have the PTI. PTI must be obtained and documented by December 12th, which is the due date of your application. If there is any project that requires a PTI and you don't have it by December 12th, your project will not be funded in this fiscal year. You're welcome to apply the following year or any year thereafter once you have the PTI, but it would not be allowed to move forward this year. And then the last one is 100% of your match is due by December 12th. So you must provide documentation that all your match is committed. If you're not able to do that, then your project also will not be funded in this fiscal year, and you can apply in another year. Okay, so those are the hard rules. And let's move on to, I wanted to share with you this one, which you also have seen before, but this is, well, I need to go that big. We need to go up so we can see this a little more clearly. Okay. We have in Ohio, federal and state funding for our Appalachian program. So at this point, you have now been assigned the projects that are getting what we call state Appalachian funds and federal Appalachian funds. as a local development district, it's our responsibility to make that assignment. So here we are. Here's our state projects this year. That will be Girard, Mahoney County Career Tech Center, Goodwill Industries, Struthers, and United Returning Citizens, URC. Our federal projects are the Ashtabula County Commissioners, Kent State Trumbull Campus, Trumbull County Sanitary, Valley Partners, and the Conneaut Port Authority. You probably see the blue here, obviously. That designates that your project requires a basic agency. And this is who has been assigned as your basic agency. And I'll review, you have some additional requirements. I'll review that as we get there. But so those are our federal projects or state projects. Okay, and now I think we're ready to open Salesforce. So let's open that up. All right, now when you open yours, you're not going to see all this. As the LDD, I have every application since Salesforce was initiated. Okay, Ashtabula is our #1 project this year. They're construction federal, so they have the most criteria. I thought we'd use them as an example. Whenever you see the I, that's something you want to click on. So we'll click on the I, and we have now opened their portal. This is your organization details page. And the first thing I want to note is you probably saw I opened this in Google Chrome. You have to use Google Chrome for Salesforce. You can't use it in any other. It already has enough problems. It will not work for you in any other one other than Google Chrome. That's probably the first thing IT is going to say. Did you open it in Google Chrome? Okay. And this is your organization, your contact information. Now we're going to move down. We're in the application. We have reimbursement requests and reporting. This will become. Good morning. Is that Nina?
Yes, I got
Hi,
so
Nina.
lost. I was going up and down the elevator. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
dear. Okay, here. You know what? Here's a chair so you can see. Let's just wheel that. Can we make room for her?
Thank you guys.
Oh, no worries. Don't worry. Go ahead, Nina. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name's Nina Fisher. I am the grant writer for the training.
Okay. We have some handouts for you, and we just opened Salesforce. So, reimbursement requests and reporting, this will be important to you. This is something new, and we'll just say this, the hammer has dropped. Grantees are required to submit quarterly reports for their ARC project. If you do not submit your quarterly report timely, you will not get reimbursed. You will not, your reimbursement requests will not be processed. So if you don't want money withheld, please do your reports on time. Okay, that's enough said. Now we have the assigned users. And see, Phyllis, you are on here. Phyllis was one that didn't have access yesterday because they didn't recognize her email. They wanted her to still be with CT Consultants.
Oh, is that what the issue was?
That's what it was. I said, no, that doesn't exist anymore. So anyways, IT was very responsive. They're great. We got that one worked out. So happy to see all the users are on here. Now, if there is any additions or subtractions on this, you know, maybe somebody leaves, so you want me to take them off or you want me to add, please just send me an email and I can always add different users for you. Okay, so let's get into the application. There's the I, we're going to open that. And here we go. There are really 4 basic components to your application, and that's in the tabs here. Your executive summary, your attachments, the project narrative, and the budget. There's the review and comments. I will never use that. If I have a review or comment, I will email you directly or call you directly. So you don't worry about that one. And then you want to submit and print. Now, if you hit submit and print, it's not going to print your attachments. That's why I was saying make a separate. I think you your hair, Carrie. When you complete your application, make sure you copy all your attachments, put them in one PDF and send it to me, because Salesforce has been known to delete them and we've never found them again. We don't want to do that. So anyways, that's what happens when you hit submit and print, or pardon me, you don't have submit, you only have print. When you print, it will not print those attachments. Now, the executive summary, that has already been done. That is your project proposal summary. That's what it's called in the pre-application. In the full application, same thing. They just call it executive summary. So what you'll be doing is doing a lot of copy and pasting from what you've already completed to answer these questions. You can see this is a construction project, $250,000, and it's a federal project. We have the project title, the grantee, the award, the counties in which you're servicing, and does this require basic agency? Yes, it does. It's been assigned. If you don't have that in your application, don't worry. You don't have to do anything that a basic agency requirement is. And then your federal goal. Now, all of this information I put in, and I got it from your approved project proposal summary. That is the extent that I will input information into your application. Everything else is up to you, and I show how to do that. Okay, so this is going to look very familiar to you. You've got the purpose, the project description, and the strategic rationale. You've answered those questions, just copy and paste them in. We do have, new this year, character maximums. So if you have more information that doesn't fit, you can just insert C, attachments, financial section, or just not included at all, but you know. And I will, when we get to attachments, I'll show you where that goes. So this is fairly easy because you've done everything. Now, the project performance measures. And if anyone wants to follow along in their project proposal summary, that's what I'm going to be referring to. This is number 12. Remember when you answered, you had to give a bullet, a number, and a description. That number 12 is what you're going to input here. So here we go. We've got our output. We're going to add a performance measure. You're going to click here. Let's do our businesses served and say you had 3. Okay, we're good. Now, if you have an output, you need an outcome. So we're going to click on that. We're going to come down here. We're going to say, okay, this is now going to be business improved. Remember, we had to do served and improved. So we're going to put in and then put our number. Okay, we're going to now, I'm sure we had a few more in there. So we're going to go and click. This is where you're going to find like square feet, linear feet, jobs projected, that type of information, and put us a number. And then the same thing for the outcomes. This is going to be like jobs created, jobs retained. So now I'm not going to hit save. So none of this stuff that I'm doing to your application or the books in Asheville is going to be saved. I would also encourage you, as you're putting your answers in, hit the save button, because if you don't hit save, it's not going to save it, and then you'll come back and say, where's all that information I put in there? Just remember to hit the save. Okay, let's see, make sure I'm not getting too far ahead of myself. All right, so now this is your match. You've already completed this. This is number 9 of your project proposal summary. So just go ahead and put that information in. And now here's your contact information. This is the first person we're going to call that's to answer questions. You've already answered this in your project proposal summary too. You need to have 2 people. These have to be people from your agency, not necessarily a consultant. This is from your agency. Consultants can be an authorized user, but not for this section. And then you would just indicate, is this your administrator, your financial person, who within your organization that is. So that's all in the executive summary. So remember, we're going to hit save, but I'm not clicking on it. All right, here we go. So executive summary section is done. Now we're going to the attachments. And I will tell you, there is a lot of changes in the attachment section this year. Let me get to my page because I don't want to leave anything out. Okay. We're just going to go through the list. It's really, I think, more organized. It looks like a lot, but it's more organized this year. Now, the local development district transmittal letter, that is the responsibility of Eastgate as the LDD. So you don't do that. I will do that. We're in the federal form section. You might have noticed in the email that I sent you yesterday, there is a little video tutorial. I would definitely encourage you to review that tutorial because it makes it very easy. And then what we discussed today, you may not remember. I just think it's a good tool. You'll need to know if you have a construction project or a non-construction. That's also on your application. So let's start with the SF424. That's the same for whether construction or non-construction. And I'm going to just increase this a little bit. Okay, we know we're on the right form. It says 2025 and it's asking you for a UEI number. So we're good there. I'm not going to go over everything on here, but there's a couple sections that give folks grief and I'll help out with that. One thing I would like to say for the entire grant application, consistency is the key. Whatever you say your project title is, every time they ask you a project title, which they'll ask you in every single section, make sure you say it's the exact same thing. Make sure your total project cost is always said the same. Consistency is something that will be looked at very closely. Okay, so everyone's sent their EIN or their TIN and their UEI, so we have that information. I'm going to scroll to number 11 and 12. Okay, the answer, you don't have this, so I'll write this down. Your number here, your federal number is 23.002. That's what you would input here. 23.002. Yeah, and the title is Appalachian Area Development. And for number 12, it's the exact same.
Appalachian.
Yes, Appalachian Area Development. And number 12.
Okay, that goes what on that name of federal agency?
Goes right here. Yeah. 11 is 23.002 and title Appalachian Area Development. And number 12, you're going to repeat that same thing. Number 12, the number is 23.002 and the title is Appalachian Area Development. Okay. Number 15.
Go up one there.
What do you mean?
Kathy.
Mm-hmm.
One more. Go below that name of federal agency.
Appalachian Regional Commission. Watch your video.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now, number 15, the title. That's on your project proposal summary. Carry that all the way through. Number 18, again, you've given me this information many times. Just make sure you put it the same way every time. This is number 8 on your project proposal summary. Now, number 18, the answer is C. Program is not covered. So you don't have to worry about that. So is that 19? Okay, thank you. Even though I have glasses, I can't adjust. So thank you. Thank you for having my back on that. All right. And that was 19. Right, so I think we're good here on the federal form. Just, I would say, look at the video. If you have any trouble, let me know. I can still walk you through it. All right, so you're gonna download each of these. Once you complete it, then you upload them. Okay. There's no room for me.
You can get this covered on the sleeve. You're good? All right, I will duplicate our efforts then.
Yeah, all right. We can send a copy. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let me regroup here. So the video, it will also help you with budget, D, the memo of understanding. For those of you with construction projects, only Form 1, nobody's doing access roads, so you don't have to do that. Now, the non-construction projects, you will not have this. You'll have Form 3, so just complete Form 3. All right, here is a big change. We now have a work plan. Oh, what's up there? Okay. All right. This really, you have addressed this also. This was part of your timeline attachment, which was the very last attachment. And you also address this in number 9, description of your project proposal summary. Really, that's the action item, start and end date, the outcome, and who's responsible. So what I would do here, you use one line for each thing. So if it's a construction project, it would say maybe advertise for bids. When are you going to do that? Who's responsible for it? Then I would say, when are you going to award the bid? That would have to be a really long line. When are you going to start construction? And when is the project going to be complete? That's an interactive form, new this year. Another form that's new is the risk assessment form. This looked a little scary to me at first. It's really just asking, it's interactive, asking basic information. And like if you have federal money in your projects, which very few of you do, other than those of you. Let me just open that up here. Refer to this again. For those of you in this category, yes, you have federal money in this. Some of you may or may not, depending on who's your match. Okay, so for that, you're just going to go through and answer the questions. Let's see. Is this your first time receiving federal award? I don't know that. So these are things that you would answer. If you need some help on that, let me know, but I think it's pretty straightforward. Okay, now we're getting into preliminary engineering. For those of you who had construction projects, if you had an equipment project, this is not for you. But put the documentation that you provided in your pre-application, you're going to upload it here. Everyone provided a map of where your project is and your service area. This is where you're going to upload it. You can see all the pieces and parts that you provided in your pre-application. You're well on your way here. Okay, now we have those support letters, which we've talked about a couple times. Need a minimum of 5. Say you have up to 20. Well, that is great, but do not put 20 individual PDFs in here. However many support letters you have, combine them into one complete PDF and upload them here. Okay, really the partners letters, I wouldn't worry about that. I would put everything in support letters for you. Now you can provide photos of the project if you wish. And now here's your total project cost. All of you completed this. This was attachment A in your pre-application. So whether you had a non-construction or a construction project, everyone has this. Go ahead and upload it here. Now, whatever your total project cost is, make sure that matches everything you've said. And I think We've had enough instruction on that from your project proposal. I think everybody is on track for that. Now, the resolutions that we talked about, this is where you are going to upload and put your resolution. And then your financial information. Okay, so whoever's providing match, remember all your match is required at this time. This is where you're going to upload that supporting documentation to verify that you have your match committed. And also your complete project proposal summary, this is where you're going to upload it, put it in there. All right, I don't know what personnel information you have. I really don't think we need it at this point, so I don't imagine anybody's going to have anything for this one. Okay. Now, we're going to hit our save. Oh no, we don't have to hit save because once you upload it, it's there. And hopefully it stays there. Okay, so now we're going into the project narrative. We already said what your goals are, so that just automatically populates in that section. Okay. So now we're going to the description. You've really addressed most of this stuff already. You can now your project proposal summary, remember it was a 2-page maximum, couldn't go over that. This is your opportunity to expand a little more. However, there is a maximum of 20,000 characters. So I would copy and paste your the answer that you provided in the project proposal summary, but now add more detail. And one of the things I'm going to talk about is the first bullet, because it gets a little confusing. Provide a detailed work plan that includes the description of all major activities and timelines. We've addressed this. You addressed that in your number 9 project proposal summary when you said pending ARC approval. It's anticipated this project is going to go out to bid or purchase equipment. You've already done that. So just, and you've also done it in your worksheet. So we're just asking for that to be repeated. Now, if you're the non-construction project, like I said, you might say, we're going to seek quotes for equipment on this date, begin purchase equipment on this date. Just the same items that you put in that work assessment form, you're going to put here. Okay, the third bullet here just talks about the map, and you could just add a sentence, see attachment, because you're going to upload that. And then the 5th bullet, this is addressing energy efficiency. Every time you see a bullet point, you've got to provide a response. So as an example for energy efficiency, you could say something like, for water projects, the most convenient equipment was selected. You could say for something regarding equipment, upgrade will consume less energy than the old equipment. New equipment will be utilized more efficiently. You know, just something that addresses energy efficiency. Okay, so now I'm going to jump down to the project sustainability. Yeah. Your timeline, this is going to be populating as you answer questions. Okay, so let's go to project sustainability. All right. Identify who will own the improvements, provide maintenance. You answered that question. You're just going to copy and paste that in here. You address that in the proposal summary. But what I wanted to call your attention to is identify the organization that will be responsible for the project administration, including task, environmental review, that type of thing, Davis-Bacon. What we're really looking for here is, I would answer the question, but also expand that further. We want to know how successful you've been in administering grants in the past. So if you've gotten a federal grant or a state grant in the past from whatever, could have been OPWC, something from ODNR, maybe a power application through ARC. Tell us that you have successfully been awarded that grant in the past and how it was administered. Maybe you've been an ARC grant recipient before. I would note that as well. Okay, so performance measures, I think this is going to auto-populate from the other section. A lot of the times it will, if you answer it once, the goals, performance and timeline, it will auto-populate for you. Okay, I think we are done there. And so we would hit save on the project narrative and we can move to the budget section. All right. You've already provided your total project cost. So now what we're seeing here, this is the, we'll go down here. These two numbers together have to equal your total project cost, not the amount of ARC grant funds you're requesting to have to use. Now you're going to, like in this example, Ashtabula was awarded $250,000 in, well, they haven't been awarded. They are seeking $250,000 in ARC grant funding. So this column, by the time you get done, has to equal $250,000. And on your handout, you can see their total project cost, if I recall, was $1,090,000. These two numbers together have to equal that total project cost. So now we start filling it in. Okay, now ARC, we pay for construction, not engineering. So you can have, where's engineering? Architectural and engineering theaters, you would have that here, but you're not going to put ARC funding in that. You're going to put your ARC funding more likely in like site work, demolition, construction, equipment. Also, you may have a contingency, and that's okay. So whatever your total project cost documentation says, if that has a contingency, you're going to want to put that here. And of course, that would go, you know, either 50-50 or 70-30. Now I want to get a little, make a disclaimer here. There's an exception to administrative and legal fees. And that is for the folks who have basic agency. So they're only for you. So I'm only talking to these folks minus Kent State because yours is equipment. Since you are required to have a basic agency, ARC will help pay for that basic agency fee through the grant. The maximum is $30,000. So if you're in Trumbull and Ashtabula County, you are an at-risk county, and that is 70-30. So your maximum is 30,000. You can put 70% in GOA and then the 30% here. If you're Trumbull County, Gary, that's 50-50. So it'd be 15 and 15.
I'm gonna put mine all in construction,
Okay.
the 250.
Okay, that'd be good. All right. Okay. So that only pertained to the basic agency. All right then. And now you've told us this information several times, I know, but we're asking about your non-ADR. So this is your match. You've identified who they are. Again, tell us again. Is this CDBG? Is this your agency? Tell us, is it, identify who it is? Is it grant or is it loan? And then here for your ARC match rate calculation, this is what I just mentioned. This is your county designation. Trumbull is at risk. That's 50-50. Ashtabula and, did I say Trumbull? That's not right. I may have made an incorrect statement. Mahoning County is at risk and they are 50-50. Trumbull and Ashtabula are 70-30.
And what's our designation? We have to say
You're
that's.
called at risk.
Okay, so we are at risk.
Yeah. All right. Too much talking. Okay. The additional documentation, I really kind of snicker at this section because if we haven't asked you for enough already, you can provide some more, but please don't put another grant or your audit. I know it says there, but really that's not needed. Less is more. Basic agency letter, you don't have to worry about that as the LDG, I take care of that. Okay, now I know that's a lot of information to give it you, but you know, it's just a process that you can go through. Don't forget to save. And then you have all that done. Please have that done by December 12th, 3 o'clock. I will start my administrative review. So I would open it up. If you didn't get a chance to ask a question, feel free. Nina, you're up first.
I just get on the attachments when you're going over. What does resolutions mean?
That is your governing board. So I'm sure URC has a governing board. They would, let's see here. I'm going to go to, you may not have been here when we talked about this. This is your handout and you also got it by email. Here we go in your board resolution. This is what we're looking for, this criteria.
Okay.
And once you have it complete, before you send it to your board for approval, if you want me to review it, I'll be glad to do that for any of the applicants, just to make sure you have all the pieces and the parts in there before they pass it. Okay, any other? Gina?
Since the city's just replacing, not expanding, will they need a PTI?
Aren't you just buying equipment? You
Yeah.
have demolition and equipment.
Right, okay.
So you would not need a PTI. You're not putting sewer line down, anything like that. No, you're purchasing equipment. Yes, Tyler.
So just a couple of clarifying questions. At the beginning, you talked about we may need to add users. Can we do that ourselves or do we have to have you do that?
Only the LBT has the responsibility to do that. Who do you need? I've got John, you. Here, you know, we can check it out.
I was talking to John earlier this morning and I know some of us, I think Dustin and I, those
Oh,
things
Dustin.
went to our spam. And so maybe it
Oh, well, let's see. Okay. Yeah, go down to the bottom, keep going down. I've got lots of applications. Okay, here's you. I'm looking at the eye, so I can open it up. This is what you would see. This is your first page. Here are your authorized users.
that's perfect. Okay.
Now okay, that's that's the right. So these individuals should have gotten an email saying, hey, the portal is open for you. And that came, well, you know, it's the same thing that you got one.
Yeah, Dustin and I believe we're able to get one. Maybe it just got lost in spam.
Okay.
I'll work with it.
All right, sounds good.
Another one was the quarterly reports that you said were required. Do you know how long after the quarter those are due?
Yeah, there's specific dates. I can see. When you get your award letter and you sign the agreement, I get a copy of that. Then I always send an email to the applicant and say, these are the dates in which your application is, progress reports are due. Let's see. I want to pick one that I can open. Let me see if how that one's done. Maybe Niles, yeah, okay. Okay, go to reporting. Here you go. This is your quarterly schedule.
Great.
I would say, once you get to this point, make sure you choose the correct year, I'm gonna say 26, and the correct quarter. Oh. You know, the spammers get you all the time. Okay, and let's say quarter four. Oh, let me do it. Okay. All right, now it's showing the due dates. I just wanted you to see when the dates are due. Salesforce does not prompt you and say, hey, it's time for you to do your quarterly report. So you will need to set your own reminders to do that. And if you miss it, then I get notified and I'll say, hey, guess what? You gotta do that. All right, sounds good. Tyler, you have another question?
No, that was all I had. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
sure. Anyone else?
Can you show me the authorized person?
Oh, for you? Sure. Okay. It's only you, you and me.
Okay, I will send the people.
Yeah, because, and it has to come from the applicants, you know. Okay. Number 3. Yeah, it's just you and me. So if you want others, please send me an email and let me know. All right, any other questions?
Yeah, Kathy, for those of us already registered in Salesforce, next time we open it, there'll just be something there to say this project.
Yeah, you don't see all of these, I do.
Okay,
You're only gonna see yours. You have.
but you went into Salesforce already and put in the Crane Drive project
Everybody
somewhere.
has it.
Okay,
Everybody.
so under.
Didn't you open your email?
Yeah, I opened it up, but you were telling people to register like for the first time.
No, they can't. I register you.
Okay, you registered me.
Yeah,
And you were talking about how to create a Salesforce account and all that, but for those of us that already have one.
no, you don't.
Okay,
It was a poor, you should have gotten an email that said, this says EEB from development. You need to click on that and that will open your portal.
okay,
Everybody has it and I can just double check yours because you were the very last one that I added. I added everybody the same day, so
all
everybody
right,
would
so
have gotten it.
register, you click this link.
Yeah, just click on that and you'll be good.
Okay.
And I believe you have another agreement that's also in Salesforce. So when you open yours up, you're gonna see two applications here. Let me go back.
Okay, all right. Because I have an ongoing project, I'm already doing the quarterly reports on.
Right. So you're gonna see two names here.
Okay, all right.
It's gonna say Trumbull
Okay,
County,
that's what I thought.
and
I was
two
just-
different project titles.
Okay, so there's nothing.
Yeah.
Complicated here, okay.
No. As long as you can open it. Some folks had trouble, they didn't, I couldn't add them, but that's been resolved now. Yours was okay.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions? All right, well, hopefully I haven't scared you terribly. But, I will say, you know, I certainly will provide assistance. I will be traveling a lot in the next few weeks. We've got the holiday season, I will be out for Thanksgiving, and then I have the privilege of representing the state of Ohio. I'm a member of the board for the Development Districts of Appalachia. We'll have our board meeting the second week in December, so I'll be gone for 4 days there. I always put my out of office response, so you'll get a bounce back. I'm not here. I can still respond. It would be slow if I'm not in the office. But other than that, you know, feel free to reach out. And if you have any questions, let me know. Did you have a question?
These are highlighted, are these things?
Yeah, they're highlighted because I put them in. And they're things that you need to now keep in your project proposal summary. The yellow.
Some members of I had.
Yeah.
I had to do something.
Yeah, your edit is here. You delete what you have and insert this. Okay. Delete what you have and insert this, and the same thing here. Sure. I think I'm gonna stop recording. They just broke it out in pieces and parts. I'm sure you'll be.
No, I just know.
Me access.